What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Chris, this is Watch Chris. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell icon, and of course, clicking that like button if you found this video useful or helpful. Today, we are taking a look at a Draken. This is not the first Draken that I have featured here on my channel, and I have to say, this is one of the best executed MicroBrand pilot watches that I have ever seen. And there's one thing about this watch that I absolutely love. Without further ado, let's take a look at the new Peregrine from Draken Watches. So here it is. This is the Peregrine. Now the Peregrine is a watch that has been around for a little while, and this is sort of a new iteration of it. It is a very modern pilot's watch. You're getting a 42 millimeter case, a very large crown. It's around 7 millimeters. You have a 48 millimeter lug to lug. It's like 48.5 millimeters, something like that, and a 12.5 millimeter thickness. You're getting a Miyota movement inside. It is a Miyota 9130. That's important because right at the bottom of the dial, one of the best executed power reserves that I have seen on a MicroBrand and a lot of major brands. I think this is probably one of, if not the best execution of a power reserve. I love to have a power reserve so that I know how many more hours I have, or at least approximate number of hours that I have left of power reserve on my watch before I need to wind it. And obviously, the best way of telling that is with a power reserve. However, sometimes a power reserve can clutter a dial. Even if this was at the 12 o'clock, it would clutter the dial a little bit. This gives you symmetry. It's at the bottom of the dial. It takes the place of the 6 o'clock index along with the date. The date that sits right above that power reserve is a color match date wheel. It looks fantastic. It just blends into the dial. It's there when you want it. It's not when you don't. I think this is an excellent execution. This dial is clean. It's a matte finished dial. Right above that date, it says automatic and then the name of the watch in blue. So that blue matches the second hand as well, which again, I like that little combination of blue and black and white. That's all you're getting on here. Very modern looking watch. You have applied indices. So the primary indices are printed on. Those are printed on with lume. And then you have applied batons. Those are filled with lume. And then you have these big broadsword hands. Those are very liberally applied with lume. Draken with their logo right below the 12 o'clock and that large 12 at the 12 o'clock, giving you orientation in the dark. And there's a little bit more blue on this dial. There is a minute track that's printed in white. However, at each one of the primary, the 9, the 12, and the 3, there's a little bit of a little triangle that's in blue that matches that second hand and of course Peregrine on the dial. So a little bit tying it all together. I really like that as well. The bracelet on here is really nice as well. This is a screwed link bracelet and you have a oyster style, I guess you would call it, but it is all brushed. So basically everything here is brushed, the entire case. You have a left hand crown that is very big and very grippy. Like I said, it's almost 7 millimeters. You have their logo right there. It is nicely etched into the crown. You have drilled lugs and quick release on the bracelet. So switching this to the strap that it comes with is going to be very easy. This does come with an extra strap. It's a NATO strap. It also comes with a travel pouch, which is right here. You could fit 1 or 2 watches in here, but I don't know. I don't know if I would use it for watches. You could use it for something else. It's almost like a wallet. You do have a pretty, I wouldn't say generic buckle because it's not a generic buckle, but it is signed. You have very large pushers for the buttons here. So push that. You have a scissor here that is milled. I'm not sure if this is milled. You have about 5 positions of micro adjust. It is manual. It is not on the fly. So that's something to keep in mind. I would like to see on the fly micro adjust, which is something that I say about a lot of watches. So it isn't an off the shelf buckle, so I do like that. It looks good. It actually looks a little bit special, but I would like to see a little bit of on-the-fly micro adjust. That would be great as well. And you do get a display case back where you can see the movement And like I said before, it is a Miyota 9000 series, the 9130. Basically, that means it has a power reserve and date. And it is signed, so the rotor is signed with the Draken logo. Right side of the watch, it does say Draken. I think that's probably the only thing I don't like about this watch is the name on the side. I wish they did not put the name on the side. I usually complain about that because I think it looks a little bit cheap in certain cases. I don't think it looks cheap here because everything is brushed. There's no polishing. So it's not terrible, but I would say it's probably the only thing I don't like about this watch. This watch kind of reminds me of IWC. It looks like something that IWC would make or would have made in the past. Very clean looking watch, very clean lines, very clean dial, really well executed, especially with that power reserve. I really do love that. I think that looks fantastic. Sapphire crystal as well, that is slightly raised off of the bezel, and by the way, you do get a 12.5 millimeter thickness. That's including 100 meters of water resistance and that display case back, which I think is great. And you do have a screwed in crown and screwed in case back. Today I have on my Hydro Conquest from Longines. This is the GMT version in 41 millimeters. They just recently announced a 43 millimeter version of this watch. I cannot imagine how big that watch will wear. This is the 41 millimeter watch, and I would say it wears bigger than the watch that we're going to put on my wrist now. Right now, the Draken. This actually wears bigger than that. I would say this wears like a 42 millimeter watch, so I don't know how big that 43 is going to wear. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. You can see it actually looks smaller than that Longines. I think it looks smaller in my opinion. And it wears smaller because you don't have that bezel. You have sort of a thin bezel on here and there is no chapter ring. So it sort of looks deceivingly smaller than it actually is. It's a 42 millimeter watch with a 12.5 millimeter thickness. I don't think it's all that big watch to begin with. I think it works perfectly for my 7.5 inch wrist, as you can see. Well, lume is excellent on the watch. You can see that all the indices are lumed, all the primary indices and those batons. The hands are lumed. The only thing I could say is that the second hand is not lumed. I wish it was, but this is a pilot's watch. But even with that being said, I would still like to see that the second hand be lumed. You do have a lumed date and you do have a lumed power reserve. So everything is lumed. Even the crown. So you're even getting lume on the crown. So lots of lume going around on this watch. And this is coming in at $479. I want to say it's a little bit cheaper on the sailcloth strap. I would go for the bracelet because the bracelet's actually very nice on this watch. And I think it completes the look a little bit. I think this would look good on a strap and you could change in between the two very easily. This also does come with the NATO strap. So you are getting a strap with this package as well, so I don't know. It depends on what strap you like better, but I would definitely go for the bracelet. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. $479 I think is a really good price for this watch, especially with the amount of lume, the setup of the watch, the fact that it has the power reserve, and how well it's executed. And I think it's a little bit smaller than the previous version, so they've actually brought down the size a little bit. Some people will like that, some people will not. I do like it. I think it's a really good size. 42 millimeters is in my wheelhouse. I love a 42 millimeter watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of Draken? What do you think of the power reserve on this watch? Am I right? Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.